Welcome back, True Seeker. It is Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. Week one of the college football season is officially over. We're going to do an early stream talking about the biggest upset of week one in terms of the ranked games, and it's one we saw a mile away. It's one we talked about Friday when we went over all the games for the weekend. And it's one that proves what I said about when the news broke Friday morning about the death of Johnny Gaudreau, who played for the Columbus Blue Jackets NHL team and who died with his brother in reportedly an accident, and who went to Boston College, who again got the biggest upset of college football week one. So, what made it obvious to us that Boston College was going to upset Florida State was, again, what I've been teaching for over 11 years now. Over 11 years of showing how the games are rigged, college and pro, and how ritual sacrifice is a major, major component of these rigged games. Is it some kind of sick blood magic? I still don't know the answer to that, and I might never know the answer to that because I'm not part of this cabal. I'm the one paying attention from the outside looking in. And what I've proven in the last 11 years is undeniable, which is probably why I have the most haters in the history of the internet as well. It's also why I'm probably the most shadow banned and deleted channel of all time as well. Again, I've been deleted for 11 years for making videos just like this, and there's nothing wrong with them because it's nothing but facts. Notice, Boston College, we saw that they were the only Jesuit school playing in week one in the ranked games. And this came right after the death of Johnny Gaudreau, who went to Boston College and played hockey there. But again, the Jesuits. We are in the time of the first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, and spotted right away. This is what we do year after year. I mean, it doesn't just have to be a Jesuit university for the game to be synced with the Pope, as we've shown so many times, that you especially got to look when it's a Jesuit university. Look how perfect it is, you guys. Look at how they scheduled that game for Monday, 106 days before the Pope's birthday. If you're new here, the practice of coding numbers into words. It goes back to Hebrew, it goes back to Aramaic, it goes back to ancient Greek. It's alive and well in the English language. And remember, the language as we know it came from the Catholic Church. The English alphabet was standardized with 26 letters. And the spellings we use for words today at the same moment in the 16th century that the Jesuits gave us the calendar that says today I'm doing this presentation in the year 2024 on the date September 3rd. These are the original two ciphers I learned from Manly P. Hall's book, The Secret Teachings of All Ages. Again, that book was published in 1926, so it's nearly 100 years old. I did not invent this. I learned about it, and then I applied it. Manly P. Hall reveals the ciphers in his book and gives you almost no information. In fact, he almost downplays the relevance of the information, like maybe it means nothing, but he leaves it up to the reader to investigate, which is exactly what I started doing when I came across it in August of 2013. It's been a little more than 11 years since I came across this, and we've done a lot with it since we figured it out, including changed a lot of people's lives. But the two ciphers that I originally learned, the alphabetic order, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z, the 26 letters 26, and the alphabetic order with numerology applied. Still, A is 1 up to Z is 26. You just compress each double-digit number to a single digit. So, for example, if you had a Z, it would be worth 8 because Z is the 26th letter. So 2 plus 6 is 8. If you had a Y, it would be 2 plus 5 is 7 because Y is the 25th letter. If you had an X, the 24th letter, it'd be 2 plus 4 is 6. Like XXX is 666. I'm sure that one will register in your brain. It registered for me back in August of 2013, right when I came across this. I was like, that's interesting. XXX, 666. I get it. But notice, Boston College Golden Eagles, full name, alphabetic order, and numerology, 106. Golden Eagles alone, 106. If you're new here, there are 4 base ciphers of the English language. That's half of it. The other half is just running the alphabetic order in reverse and running it in reverse numerology. Golden Eagles alone also equates to 52 and 56, just like the word Pope does. So what a perfect team to sync with the Pope. Football's America's game. Our nation symbolized with the eagle. Where'd all the gold go? That's another subject for another time. But go back to the Jesuit order's birthday in history, August 15th, and see what your federal government did once upon a time with gold and the currency. Anyway, Jesuits, they run a lot. There's a reason the American Revolutionary War began on Ignatius of Loyola Day, April 19th. That's the first superior general of the Jesuits. Again, you learn about these Jesuits, you'll see they're rigging a lot more than football games. Remember, Lincoln blamed the American Civil War on them. And by the way, for all the students at Boston College who might come across this, I'm not mad at any Jesuit students. If you get handpicked to be the next Gavin Newsom type of scumbag, well, then we got a different kind of conversation. But again, there's plenty of people that go to Jesuit universities who are not bad people. They are known for having good schools. But it's also obvious that they handpick their Gavin Newsoms, their Donald Trumps, their Joe Bidens, their Cuomos, their Faucis to run their scams on humanity as well. But again, we're talking about a very teeny tiny percentage. And then the other sad part is, you got your Johnny Gaudreaus, who they just, take out by the numbers for a little ritual like this. And speaking of Johnny Gaudreau, he played for Columbus in the NHL, right? And we mentioned this. We said, look at this. We talked about the significance of him dying at age 31, big football number, right before all the games on the 31st of August, as the season unfolds. Remember, 31's the 11th prime number. Like football's a game of 11 on 11. And it's just like over the weekend, you saw the 49ers pick. The 31st pick of the NFL draft shot on the 31st. Hasn't even played an NFL game, fresh out of college. All these things are related. Shot 9 days before their game versus the 9 team, the Jets, with Aaron Rodgers now as the QB who came up in the Bay Area. Again, all this stuff's high ritual. But anyway, you see how it fits in? You see how undeniable it is, how obvious it is? Johnny Gaudreau, the Boston College star who plays for Columbus. That's where Ohio State is. Ohio's the birthplace of American football. He's dead right before this game and this historic win. This is one of the biggest wins for Boston College in their football program history, beating a ranked team, top 10 Florida State. And again, what was the spread on this game? The spread was hilarious. The spread told the story. The Jesuits were created in the 16th century. Boston College was a 16.5-point underdog. 16's not too far off from the digits 106, is it? No. We're going to go back to what they did with Matt Ryan, who went to Boston College, who gave up the 25-point lead on 2/5 when Falcons equals 25 like Pope. In the season, they moved the touchback to 25 yards. In the 97th NFL season, which is the 25th prime when Roman Catholicism's 97. Remember, the Boston College product, Matt Ryan, gave up the impossible lead in an obvious script to Tom Brady, playing for the Boston Patriots. And remember, Pope Francis blessed that Super Bowl. That was Super Bowl 51 on the Pope's 51st day of his age when Rome equals 51. Only Super Bowl that Pope Francis has blessed the whole time he's been Pope was that one. And then who remembers what they did with Matt Ryan in his 201st game playing down in Texas as well, where that Super Bowl was at? He was playing against the Cowboys and gave up a huge lead at the end of the fourth quarter. And in his 201st game, another big number with the Jesuits like Pope Francis, first Jesuit Pope, first to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican. But yeah, also just coming back to Johnny Gaudreau being the ritual sacrifice this time for another big accomplishment in the world of sports. Again, usually when the biggest things happen in sports, that's when you'll see the most bodies connected to it too. In this case, it was Johnny Gaudreau and his brother. And remember, they told you that they were killed on the 29th. The news broke the next day. Broke on a Friday. But they said that they were killed at 8:30 p.m., 8/3 on the 29th, right? Football, 83. With numerology, football 29. Again, his brother was 29. The song Murder by Numbers by the Police. Who gave you the story that that's what happened? The police. According to the police, this is what happened. They were riding their bikes along a highway late at night after the sun went down. Yeah, it doesn't sound suspect. And you guys, what highway did they tell you they were on? They told you they were on Highway 551. What college football season is this? Just put a mirror up to that number 551, and you got the college football season you're in. 155. This is the 155th college football season. But again, the song Murder by Numbers by the Police, where killings as simple as ABC is 1, 2, 3, came out in 83. Here, in case you missed the decode on Johnny Gaudreau. Johnny Gaudreau, dead at 31. Hockey star, right? Hockey equals 31. Again, 31's the 11th prime number. Football's a game of 11 on 11. Plays for Columbus, where Ohio State is, who's ranked 2 in the nation coming into this season. Didn't cover their spread against the Akron Zips like we thought they wouldn't. They were a 48.5 point favorite. Akron Zips equals 48. Ohio equals 47. Two good reasons to think they weren't going to cover that spread, and they did not. But notice, he died 16 days after his birthday. Ohio equals 16 for the record. Just like NHL. NHL and Ohio both 16, dead 16 days after his 31st birthday. Played at Boston College. And again, from his last game, which was on the 16th of April, until his death was 136 days, which is the 16th triangular number. See? And he died in New Jersey, home of the Devils. Again, the NHL, literally the league that used to have a player whose last name was Satan. And I know it was supposedly pronounced Shatan, but it was Satan. And again, from the Stanley Cup ending, which was a huge ritual, synced with the rigged finals, which we were all over, and smashed another future in NBA. We said before the season began, it looked like it was the Boston Celtics year. For sure, Boston Celtics, the only team in the league that equals 78. It was the 78th NBA season. Game 1 was on the Celtics' 78th birthday. You saw what they did to Bill Walton. Bill Walton dead at 71 on the day the Celtics advanced to the finals. Celtics equals 71. Small way Boston Celtics 78. Stuff's wicked. And again, it was all a tribute to the dead Kennedys. JFK died at Parkland Hospital in Florida. The Panthers play right next to Parkland, Florida. Remember the 214 Parkland shooting on Valentine's Day when JFK died in Dallas, the 214 area code at Parkland? All this stuff is ritual. And it's the same Jesuits pulling the strings on all of it. On their little calendar system, which is like a board game for these people. It's essentially what they did with the language in the calendar. They set up a new game for the new world. You know, here's the New Testament. This is the new world. Here's the new living language. That's what's going on, you guys. It was all written down on the Georgia Guidestones, which came down 201 days after the Pope's birthday. They had to take them down after 42 years when vaccine equals 42, and it was all simulated with Event 201 put on by the Jesuit Klaus Schwab. They had to eliminate the plans that had been etched in stone for 42 years. Down in the 4th state, Georgia. Again, 4 is associated with death. Georgia equals 44. Dabu Sweeney this weekend picked up his 44th career loss versus Georgia, Lock City. For the Idaho caller, I'm going to take calls in a minute. I'm going to let you guys know. I know I got the call-in number up there, but give me a second, 208. Actually, hold on. If it's our young guy, 208 Productions, he might just have a minute. Is it 208 Productions?
No, good morning. I was just seeing if I'm shadow banned in your chat.
You shouldn't be.
All right. Can you see Ethan? The name Ethan typing?
Now, are you on Gematria Effect Sports?
YouTube, yeah.
That channel has been ruined by YouTube. There's a lot of people who are not banned whose comments don't show up on there. They've destroyed that channel. It's lost 6,000 subs in the last 2 years. It hasn't grown a single month in the last 2 years. They've ruined that channel. Nobody gets a notification. So switch over to GematriaEffectNews 25, and I bet your comments will show up.
All right. Is that
I'm going to move on, man. Thank you. But yeah, they've ruined Gematria Effect Sports, you guys. Tons of people's comments don't show up. It's just that's the sabotage from what we're exposing. That's what Google does, run by the Jesuits. That's why they celebrate their anniversary of being recognized on the same day the Jesuits were recognized by Rome, September 27th, the day leaving 95 days left in the air. Like their original mission was to stop Martin Luther and the 95 Theses. And understanding, guys, this year it's going to be the first ever college football championship on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, the 201st day of the nation's age on 20/1, as Georgia's #1 when MLK's from Georgia. Dabu Sweeney got his 95th win to start the year. And then they made the game about race because Roddy White came out and said there's too many white players on Clemson, which probably isn't false. But again, you can see the racial joke, not to mention Roddy White equals 139, the 34th prime. Black in Gematria equals 34. Georgia beat Clemson 34-3, beat them by 31 points on the 31st. But yeah, coming back to this. Again, Johnny Gaudreau dead 67 days from the Stanley Cup. This is how they do it. Human sacrifice 67, like blood sacrifice 67. Run it in reverse. Both words equal 86. They said it was a bike accident. I don't think so. Bike accident 86. His full name, John Michael Gaudreau, 86. Just par for the course. I mean, nobody's going to question this death today. Just to go off tangent for a second. In the news, TJ Hooker dead. TJ Hooker star dead. And he's dead 86 days after his birthday. And he was in the show that ended in 86. No one's going to question it because he's in his 80s. Be like, well, he was 80-some years old. He lived a long life. True. Guy might have lived to 100. He might have just got 12 years knocked off his time. But in a way, if you're in show business and you get to live into your late 80s, you were a lucky guy, because look at how often we're talking about these entertainers dead at very young ages. Talking about it nonstop. Nonstop, the way the bodies pile up in these rituals. And again, you got all these horrible human beings online trying to slander my name. The one guy who's been changing people's life with real knowledge, proving to them how the game is rigged, proving who is doing it, and helping people, get some grocery money when things are super expensive and people can use extra grocery money. And don't forget, I was here for the first 5 years doing it all for free, grinding every day, proving my point in spades every day, racking up a lot of haters along the way. Again, just to show you how sick all this is, when Johnny Gaudreau died, it was on the 257th day of the Pope's age. Blood sacrifice, also 257. And that's the 55th prime number, like Boston, Massachusetts equals 55, like Satan equals 55. The date that Boston College just won was a date with 55 numerology. If you don't know date numerology, there were two paths, 55 and 19 for September 2nd. The Florida State coach picked up his 19th loss with his team. So that was also what was going against Florida State yesterday. But yesterday was September 2nd, 2024, the day Boston College upset. 9 plus 2, September 2nd, plus 20 plus 24 is 55, which would break down to 10, which would break down to 1. And then the small way is just 9 plus 2 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4, which is 19. Boston, Massachusetts, 55. Again, Florida State coach gets his 19th loss versus the team from Boston, Massachusetts, after the death of Johnny Gaudreau on the 257th day of the Pope's age, which is the 55th prime. And again, the Columbus Blue Jackets has that 248 connection. That's how old the country is. That's how old the Illuminati is, which was founded by a Jesuit, Adam Weishaupt. And again, just like I said, they got to tell you he's dead at 8:30, right before football, right? And what I was telling you on Friday, if you had any doubts about it then, if you're still doubting, I don't know what to say to you. By the way, the guy that supposedly hit him and his brother, isn't it just weird how they got to give you a middle initial for him? They say it's Sean M. Higgins, whose name equals Johnny Gaudreau in 3 out of the 4 base ciphers. Isn't that weird? And keep in mind, 199 is the 46th prime, like sacrifice equals 46, going with Genesis 46, like Catholic equals 46, like religion equals 46. Like, again, there's 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament. Goes with why JFK got smoked at 46. Goes with why Beau Biden got smoked at 46, 201 days before the Pope's birthday, which told us that Joe Biden would become number 46. as he was inaugurated on the 201st day of the nation's age by the same Jesuit priest who did the funeral for his son at 46. And that Jesuit priest named Leo Jeremiah O'Donovan equals 201, just like Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits, just like Jorge Mario Bergoglio, who was Pope Francis when the Jesuits are from France and the last French Pope was the 201st. Yeah, but again, you guys, you do work this good for 11 years, prove your point a million times over. That's what you can expect in this world that's controlled by these people. You can expect to have a gang of trolls harass you in online, in person. You can expect to be shadow banned to hell. You can expect people to just not even have their comments show up anywhere. The destruction of truth. And that's why more people need to talk about things offline. That's why we like to go out and pound pavement and get out on the street where people, they can't miss it if they're in earshot. And yeah, we sometimes when we're on the street, we get people mad at us. But you know what? If they actually go home and look at what we're saying, they're going to realize we're not lying. This is going on day after day, and it needs to be stopped. If you are going into the stadiums to watch these games and you're aware of this information, it makes you part of the evil. Point blank, period. You are part of the evil. You are now supporting an industry that does this. Now, people will point back at me and say, well, Zach, you're helping people gamble off this. Listen, I hear the argument, but at the same time, we're trying to take advantage of the rig system. Here. There's a lot of feedback like this in the world. And I'm going to address this comment that was just left yesterday, because again, some of this, like, there's people who feel this way about me. I want you guys to understand this is not true, everything he wrote, but there's plenty here. I'm just going to read the whole comment. For people in the community, you know who this is because I gave him this nickname. I called him Louisiana Hot Hands. Okay. He had something really tragic in his life happen recently. And he said it was what he learned from me that kept him from going and murdering other people. He said he'd probably be sitting in a prison cell with regrets. And again, what he learned from me, essentially, I learned from reading and through observation. So not all credit can be given to me, but it's the reason that when you learn knowledge, again, we all know the phrase, each one, teach one. So that's the motto over here. But, and what's funny is for people who know Louisiana Hot Hand, they know that him and I have a history. Louisiana Hot Hand also has a hot head. And he's gone on some rants. Like you think he was one of my top haters sometimes, the way he'll call in and rant at me sometimes. But anyway. Sometimes it's easier to express their nice thoughts about somebody written down rather than to them. Anyway, him and I have been on good terms for about 2 years, but this is what he wrote. He said, as an original student of Zach, that's me, I'm Zachary K. Hubbard. If you guys want to look up my books, I've made them free to download. If you want to support them and buy them, that'd be great too. Almost no one does anymore. Last month we got $16 in royalties, speaking of 16. He says, as an original student of Zach and a good buddy, though, we haven't talked in a minute because I've been isolated since my daughter's murder in 2022. So this is the tragic thing that happened to him. And he didn't explain what happened here, but when he got the news of what happened to his daughter, he said he went storming out of his house and he in his mind, he was going to go kill these people that had just done this to his daughter. Now, I don't want to put all of his stuff out there. But he said as soon as he was storming out the door, a car drove by, and he just happened to notice the license plate, and he couldn't believe it because the first 3 digits in the license plate were his daughter's birthday. And it just made him stop, and it made him think, like, how is that even possible? I just learned my daughter got murdered. I'm going to kill the people who did this. And now a car just drives by right away with my daughter's birthday. And his interpretation of that was his daughter telling them to stop and think and not do what he was thinking. So instead, he went back home and he chilled out and he mourned. And obviously, he's still not happy about what happened, but he says he's glad he didn't do that because he realizes there would have been even more consequences, and it wouldn't have brought his daughter back. So, again, he says, in 2022, let me say this, when it comes to a God, literally, Zach is the earth God, point blank period. Now, I got to listen. That is a big compliment, but trust me, I am not the earth God. I might be the hardest working messenger on earth trying to figure out what's going on and stop evil, because that's what I swore to do even as a young child. I saw so many things wrong in the world, and I wanted to just fix all of them. And again, for people to know my reputation, I have been here every day for over 11 years grinding. In the last 11 years, there's only one day I didn't put out new content into the world, and that was the day I was picking up the pieces of my house because it got robbed and sabotaged, and everything of value that didn't get stolen got broken. So I had a huge mess in my house. That was the one day I didn't put any new content in the world. That was back in 2014. That's been a minute. That was a year and a few months into putting this information out there. Consequences. And there's been a lot of things since that too. You guys ever had cars crash through your house on Christmas Eve? Nonstop threats, weirdos, gang stalkers. I had to put up with a lot of stuff for putting this information out in the world. But anyway, he says, Gematria changed my entire perspective on life, sports, media, government, education, etc. And it should. I mean, that's the power of this. You see how rigged the game is. It's undeniable how the game is rigged. Like, people don't even blink an eye. We called the Kamala transition from Joe dead on from Inauguration Day, just like how we called the election dead on way in advance. But did you guys notice who died right before the transition from Joe to Kamala? The longest serving black woman in the U.S. government, Sheila Jackson Lee, just drops dead, and then the next day it's big news for Kamala. People don't even blink an eye. Just everything's a coincidence. They're so used to coincidence. That wasn't an accident, you guys. That was just like a Johnny Gaudreau. See, we've been conditioned and programmed to not see what's going on. I mean, what they did to OJ. I mean, you guys, after what I've been teaching about the way they kill and shame black people by the 59 code, what they did to OJ this year. I mean, seriously, dead 59 days after the Super Bowl, announced dead as the Masters is teeing off, and they show you a photo of him in a Titleist hat, when Ephesians 6:5-9 is the verses about slaves, obey your masters, when slave, Negro, blues, Rasta all equal 59. Run it in reverse, they all equal 76 like master. OJ's dead at 76 as the Masters tees off. Again, the U.S. federal government controlled by these Jesuits. Black History Month, they recognized it in 76. And you know what's cold too about the OJ thing? The federal government recognized Black History Month in 76, and they started recognizing it on February 10th, 10/2, like 102, like slavery equals 102, like the American Civil War began on the 102nd day of the year. What day did they announce OJ dead this year? On the 102nd day of the leap year. And his hat that was on when they put out the thing, Titleist, that equals 102. Run it the other way, it equals 114, like it was 11/4, the 11th of April when they announced his death. That's how perfect it is. Just like how the only physical description of Jesus in the Bible is in Revelation 1:14. Darker skin, hair that's white like wool. Sounds like it could have been OJ. But yeah, he says, every day now I see everything for what it is. Sports betting gives me control over my 24 hours. See, people can hate on this and say that see, a lot of you guys, because you're indoctrinated in the book, right? I'm not saying that gambling is a good thing, but I'm also saying it's not necessarily a bad thing either. I've taught people how to wager small amounts of money and to make large sums of money. You know, it's like yesterday we saw the Brewers slugger could get his 29th home run on his 29th birthday. They do that stuff all the time in rigged baseball. He did. That was a huge payout. Boston College is a huge payout. And instead of wasting your money at Starbucks, giving it to some evil corporation on a overpriced coffee with a whole bunch of sugar in it that's going to give you cancer early, instead of doing that with your $10 for the day, why not make a smart wager that could potentially pay $500 for the day? You're not going to hit that every day, but with this knowledge, you can turn 5 into 500, 10 into 500, at least a few times a month. There are certain days where there's major alignments. And I'll admit it is sad in a way to have extra confidence in a Boston College upset because they just sacrificed Johnny Gaudreau, but we didn't sacrifice Johnny Gaudreau. We're the ones out here showing what they're doing. Should we not take advantage of their rigged game? Does that make us bad for doing it? If you're going to argue that that makes you bad because you gambled, what is it then? I mean, you can start arguing everything's bad. Okay, having a job and paying taxes to this evil state that uses your tax money to kill innocent brown people in the name of false excuses after false flags. Is that not evil? We're all, let's be honest, we're all part of an evil system. How much are you doing to help break that evil system? But anyway, he says every day, and there's a lot of people like this. There's a lot of people whose lives have changed from learning this knowledge. And you know what's amazing is how many people have learned this from me and then use my name to slander me to like build up their own fan base. I mean, see that's evil too. So some people using the knowledge are definitely more evil than others. But anyway, he says every day I now see everything for what it is. Sports betting gives me control over my 24 hours. No boss, no working around idiot employees. Freedom to go and come as I please daily. He wasn't the first person to learn from this and make this happen in his life. There are many people in this world who now say the same thing. Now, here's his next sentence that is wrong, though. I'm going to correct every wrong sentence. He says, I owe it all to Zach. You guys, I do not like when people give me too much praise and false praise. I'm not an earth god, and you don't owe it all to me. You owe maybe a little bit to me because I put out the knowledge, but you really owe it mostly to yourself. Because how many people in the world could have listened to what I was saying and applied it? The answer to that question is everyone who ever came across it. How many people do? I would guess that the people who do is less than 1%. I don't know the real stat, but I'd guess that it's actually less than 1%. I'd say probably for every 1,000 people that have come through here, maybe 5 stuck around and actually listened. The other 995 were like, oh, whatever. Oh yeah, sports are rigged. How would that be? Huh? You know? And just like you said up here, I don't have to be around the idiots anymore. Yeah, that's what this society's full of. And you've got to feel bad for them because they were all programmed to be that way. When your body's full of shit, because that's all you eat is shit, like most Americans, all you put in your mouth is shit, processed shit with no nutrition, sugar, salt, chemicals, you don't even know what they are. Oh, it tastes good though. It's like if you went to the gas station and filled up your car every day on octane 1. So they're putting at least 87 in there. You're putting octane 1 in. The thing is, the human body is such a powerful machine, it can run on octane 1. Might run like shit, but you don't die for at least 50 years. But yeah, when that's going on, your mind doesn't work right. That's something I've also done from a young age as a teenager. I fixed my diet when I was a teenager because I started to read and learn things. It's like, oh my God, why didn't they teach us this in slave school? Why, you're not supposed to eat that? I'm not going to eat that anymore. Oh, I should put this in my body. Let me do that. Oh, I don't exactly like the way this tastes, but I bet if I get used to understanding this is good for me, I bet I can like it more and more. And that's exactly what does happen. So my body's been running clean on the right stuff for most of my life, you know. And I've never been anybody's fool either. I don't let other people do my thing. I don't care if you say you're the authority. Prove it. Prove it or get to stepping. And your whole life you'll have authorities trying to tell you things that you should believe. Like, I don't think so. That ain't making any sense to me. Nope. Oh, I'm supposed to believe that one from, thousands of years ago. Oh, back then when the Bushes talked to people. Oh, yeah, I'm sure that's how it was. Yeah, he's only going to send one son to Earth. Had to be thousands of years ago. You just got to believe it in the book here. Written, mass published for everybody by the same tyrant cabal that swears in on it as they go to public office and lie to you every day and manipulate your ass and steal your money. The only people that don't have to pay taxes are the church. Yeah, it reminds us that the old government of Europe, where people were supposedly trying to escape, was the church. Well, it looks like it's still the government. All roads lead to Rome. Rigged games and all. But no, you don't owe it all to me. Give yourself credit. You owe 99% credit to yourself. You can give me credit for 1%. But he said what he learned from me was visual proof of things he felt were not right in the world. He said, once I gained the knowledge, Zach had to offer mixed with my own information. Yeah, see, exactly. See, he had his own information too. And Louisiana High, and back when he was a student, he'd be calling in, arguing with teacher all the time, which I don't mind. I used to argue with my teachers. So he had to drop the lyrics. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? What song is that? It's definitely Motown. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't place what song that is. All obstacles are, you say out of my way or does it say in my way? I must say out of my way. The lyrics are piecing in, but it's this early morning thing. He goes on, forever grateful to have stumbled upon my brother in the early years. You wouldn't know that the way we've interacted for years. He says, my prayer daily is that my bro wakes up another day to teach, lead, and inform sleeping sheep. And you know what? Now he could carry on the lessons. What's up, 205?
Hey, what's up with you, man?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm all right. I appreciate the work you do. I know people try to slander you and stuff, but this stuff is real. And I did want to point out something I noticed even surrounding Kobe Bryant's death. If you remember that documentary called Kobe Bryant's Views, at the end of it, there was actually a song by Beyonce called XO. You know, it stands for Hugs and Kisses. And he was actually specifically holding his daughter, the one that he died with. When the lyrics played, it was saying, baby, kiss me, hold me, before they turn the lights off, I'm crashing into you. And it's crazy because I think it was reported at the time, like, as he was about to die, they were about to die, that the pilot said something about him hugging and kissing his daughter. And it's crazy how that lines up with the Beyonce lyric from XO.
I recall Beyonce got her 24th Grammy in the building the Lakers play in the day Kobe died.
Yeah, she did.
And for people who don't know Kobe Bryant, again, Kobe died at 41 on the Pope's 41st day of his age, traveling from Catholic Mass. The Lakers went on to win the finals that year on Father-Daughter Day, exactly 41 weeks after LeBron's birthday, when Kobe Bryant equals 41, King equals 41, LA 41. Not to mention, we said that the Lakers were going to win the championship that year, 2 years before it happened, because that was LeBron's 17th season as he got in their 17th championship when he came over from Ohio, the 17th state, on the first day of the 7th month. Again, that video we put out day one for free helped a lot of people win. You guys, we literally put the website 5 dimes out of business because they had to shut down after they announced they weren't going to pay their Lakers championship future. And why do you think they were so bankrupted after the Lakers playoff run? Because that was back when I got views. All the videos I did on that got millions of views combined, way in advance why the Lakers would win the championship that year. That's part of the reason I can't get any views anymore. I haven't been able to get any views since Kobe died. We changed the world for that, and I had to get eternal punishment online for what we exposed about that. But don't forget, I also had a book out there way before Kobe died about how his whole career was defined by the number 41. So, again, when you got all these trolls out there saying my work's after the fact, nah. We have been making unprecedented predictions all across the board since I got here. But my first video was a dead-on prediction 11 years ago. Anyway, go ahead, friend.
Look, I was getting death threats. Like, as soon as the day they announced Kobe died, I said, yeah, the Lakers winning it all. And people was like, I hope you die, your mama die. I'm like, bro, it's real. I mean, if you think about this, back in, 2011, Hurricane Katrina, the Saints won. 2013, Boston Marathon bombing, the Red Sox win. Super Bowl 50 with Cam Newton, 50-year anniversary of the Black Panther Party. I mean, obviously, I don't like to bring race into it, but, I mean, they wanted to shit on black people that day. And then there was a video going out. YouTube actually took it down where a guy posted one of the D linemen for Carolina was about to make a big stop on the goal line, and another lineman was pulling him off from making a tackle. Like they were allowing the Broncos to score. I mean, it's obviously rigged. That's why I don't even I don't watch sports anymore. I actually played baseball. I was close to making it to the league. I sustained a horrible injury. But you see the athlete growing up, if you actually really play sports like that, you see it's almost like they kind of be rigging up these guys' careers from a young age. I remember my high school. I mean, we were a black school. I'm gonna just say this, but I remember we played another high school. Each area had their own referees. We had referees that we had already paid for the game. They brought their referees from their area to play us, and they absolutely were cheating. I was pitching, and it's illegal to an extent. You can hog the plate as a batter, but you can't be standing all outside of the batter box hogging the plate. I wasn't given any space to pitch the ball to them, and the referees allowed the team to have their way with me. Like if I didn't throw it straight down the middle, he was gonna call. He was gonna call a ball. I mean, you could see the rigging with sports.
Absolutely. I mean, to me, I don't understand how any person who knows how to play these games can watch these games and not see the rigging. I mean, they're a joke, college and pro. So
yeah, it's a joke. And like I said, I don't like to even argue with idiots on it because I'm like, bro, I had private trials with the Dodgers. I mean, I have a picture where I had a private trial with the White Sox. I mean, I see this stuff. There's politics in it too.
Here, I just want to say, if there's any Florida Gator fans out there, if you go back to another game this year, you're a moron. And this goes for all football fans. Look at what they just did to you on your home field. We all saw it if you watched the game. It was in the very beginning of the first quarter. You guys would have had the ball right down by the goal line, would have changed the whole momentum of the game. But right before the pass got there, the Miami defender grabbed the Florida receiver and threw him out of the way before the ball even got there, right in front of the ref. And the ref did a incomplete. Like, in what world is that not pass interference? He grabbed him and threw him before the ball even got there. Incomplete. And again, if you're a real-time bettor, you know it's game over right then. At least bet Miami to win the first half. That was at the beginning of the game. Anyone could have won. Just like a 10 out of 10 blatant pass interference. And on Florida's field, too. I mean, on Florida's field, just a blatant no call. And it's just, you guys, to go to these games and not think they're rigged, you got to be brain dead.
I'm going to tell you this, Zach. It's not even the fact that people don't see it, because I see people saying it on Facebook. I mean, they're even making commercials, the NFL, like, where they're mocking people. They had one with Lil Wayne saying, oh, here's the script. It's not that people don't want to believe it. Like, I'm going to say this. I'm a big Call of Duty guy. It was a dude in FaZe Clan, if you're familiar with, like, the Call of Duty clans. I forgot his name. It's FaZe. I forgot his name. I'll probably remember it. But anyways, I showed my friend an Instagram clip. And like you said, when you do this stuff for so long, there's no way you can't tell when people cheated. The guy's obviously hacking in the video game. And I pointed it out instantly. Like, I play the game. I know how it looks when somebody's hacking and when somebody's genuine. I made the comment on Instagram. People was like, oh, you're hating. You must be trapped the game. So my friend on the comments, and we just laugh. And he like, bro, because you're training me in the game, I know that it doesn't even look that way when you're aimed in on somebody and they're moving around. You got to tell he's using aimbot or whatever. Everybody attacked me. Week later, it came out that he was cheated in tournaments. And I'm like, okay. I went back to the comment section. I said, for all you fucking faggots that, came for me, now look, what do you have to say now? They didn't even say shit. No response.
Well, it's just like when I guaranteed Brady was going to win Super Bowl 51 and it was going to be all about 25. They were down huge, and that was back when my channel got views. I mean, that video ended up having like almost 1 million views. Probably really had more than that. They were even hating on the algorithm back then. But I wish they hadn't deleted my channel, because I'd always go back and reference the comments section. I mean, it probably got 20,000 posts at halftime, and it was nothing but hate. And then you saw after the game was over and I was right, there was like hardly any comments left. Everyone wanted to come in and hate. And And again, you just see they'll hate all day, but then they can't come back and say they were wrong. They're like, you know how people out there be like, oh, you got lucky. It's like, well, I get lucky.
You familiar with Fresh and Fit podcast out of Miami?
Did you say Fresh and Fit?
Yes.
Yeah, see, to me, that's just total trash. I don't know what you're going to say about that, but that's a total trash podcast.
You said that's a what?
Total trash.
But they actually brought on like this ex-mobster before. His name is Michael Francis, however you pronounce it. But I mean, the guy, he himself even went on there and admitted on how they would, rig stuff.
That might be good. That might be good. I don't want to endorse this podcast, though. They already get huge views, but I don't like that podcast. They bring on like the porn girls, and then they sit there and talk shit about women. It's an evil podcast, which is why it's viral. Like you do some evil shit in the world, that's going to get syndicated and out there. You do some good shit in the world, you're going to get buried and deleted and censored, just like yours truly. I mean, what I'm doing right here is better than anything Fresh and Fit ever did, ever. Period. End of discussion. Fresh and Fit doesn't have 5 minutes of broadcasting that's as important as what I put out this morning. How many people we got here between two channels right now? We got 200 people here. When live streaming started on YouTube, I had at least 2,000 people in every stream. All these years later, we're just stacking the records. Now we're down to 2 channels, and we got 200 people on the stream. I mean, that's what's wrong with the world.
Yeah. I mean, they got some stuff that could be educational, like they Money Mondays. But yeah, the stuff with the women, it is just basically regurgitated, like brain dead argument.
Yeah, it's not just brain dead arguments, is that they're modeling horrible things. The guys on there just talking shit about women and talking about women like they're nothing but material. These guys are contributing to the destruction of society.
Yeah, I think a lot of red pill guys, they could possibly be creating a pyramid scheme for themselves. Because I know a lot of them do promote only get with a guy with money, but then when you actually look at the statistics on who all has the money, it only fits a certain demographic. It only fits them, so it does create a pyramid scheme to where they get all the bitches. I mean, I'm just being real.
Well, you're emulating right there. You just referred to women as bitches.
Well, I mean, yeah, because there's women, then there's bitches.
Right, but you just referred to all women as bitches, which is exactly what Fresh and Fit puts out in the world. And they're not the first ones to do it. I mean, this is what's wrong with society, though. It's like another guy I follow. He's always complaining about how he can't get any women, but he never refers to them as women. He just refers to them all as bitches. It's like, well, there's your whole problem right there. You see women as bitches, so that's why you can't get any.
I personally separate them in categories. If you out here, just doing everything with your body, my choice, and you could be a hoe if you want to, I can't call you a woman. Just like if you
I get that. I get that. No, I get that. Trust me, I get it.
You can't be considered a man.
Here, I'll tell you a real thing yesterday I was in the grocery store, and this girl, she had her shorts on, and her whole ass was hanging out. And I said to her as I walked by, I said, your boyfriend let you go out in those shorts? And she looked at me, she goes, I don't have a boyfriend. And I said, well, I know why. So anyway, I mean, yeah, I know there's a lot of girls like that. It's bad. It's bad. No girl should be walking around with their ass hanging out of their shorts. It's not a good look. You're just making yourself a piece of meat on the shelf. You look like you're there for sale, just like the rest of the groceries in the store. So.
And they don't realize it's a poison to society too. Because I mean, yes, we should control our urges as men. Don't get me wrong, but when you say, like you said, all that ass out and stuff, that can be like enticing for men. And women don't put accountability on each other when it comes to that. Just like men, I mean, we like when dudes out here simping and being clucks and shit. I mean, we don't put accountability on each other anymore. I mean, nobody seems to be willing to accept accountability. They say they do, but do we really? I mean, as soon as somebody tells you something right, a lot of people get defensive. Which actually, I don't. I mean, yeah, he lives. He's a Satanist too, possibly. But J. Cole even said it best in the song that when he he said something to her, she would get defensive. I mean, that's how a lot of people are. A lot of people, try to dodge that accountability. But me, I was very selective with my woman. My girlfriend was actually a virgin when we met. And, she gets called a pick me, but I tell her to ignore that shit. That just be a lot of women hating because, they fucked up with their bodies. My bad, I'm just rambling right now. I'm about to get into a whole...
It's okay, man, but I do appreciate the call. I do appreciate the call, so thank you.
I do have one more question, or maybe two more. How do you feel about the possibility of Notre Dame winning the championship this year?
Here, I'll just throw this one out there, you guys. Again, Georgia, where MLK's from. It's the first ever college championship on MLK Day because they've added this college playoff, so it's made it deeper in the season. The championship's January 20th. MLK Day is always the first Monday after his birthday, which is January 15th. It's never been on his birthday before. Again, MLK was killed on 4-4 from Georgia. Georgia equals 44. The season begins with Dabu Swinney of Clemson getting his 44th loss versus Georgia. And then MLK, again, he assumed the name Martin Luther after the Protestant Reformation leader who wrote the 95 Theses. MLK ended up getting killed on the 95th day of the leap year in 68. And Dabu Swinney just got his 95th career win to start the year, beating Clemson. And there's a Catholic school that equals 95, and it's Notre Dame. Again, Martin Luther was against the Catholic Church. MLK got killed in a Catholic Jesuit ritual. And don't forget, from when Martin Luther penned the 95 Theses, funny enough, he penned it on the day that we now call Halloween, which equals 95 as well, October 31st. But from when he penned that 95 Theses, October 31st, 1517, to the Jesuits being created, it was 201 months later. Just like how when Martin Luther King Jr. got killed, the nation's first gun control legislation was 201 days later. This year, the championship is on the 201st day of the year, 20/1. Or excuse me, the 201st day of the nation's age is what I mean, January 20th, 20/1, which is also Inauguration Day. And there's a chance we get the first black woman, like we're having dreams here, like the Atlanta Dream ladies basketball team. But yeah, I think based on what I'm saying, I think you can follow what I'm saying. That could make sense as a championship, especially since the first ranked game of the year was in Ireland, and Notre Dame's known as the Fighting Irish. So,
and one more. Do you see the Chiefs three-peat? I really see that.
Listen, man, you should join the Patreon. I can tell you're not on my Patreon, so.
I mean, I'm on Patreon, but I don't. I work so much, man. I ain't even been tuning in.
No, you know, we got to keep some stuff exclusive for the Patreon. I'm gonna let a few more people get in, man. But thank you. Take care. I don't think he's really on Patreon either. What's up, 407?
Yeah, what's up, Zach? Regarding the Boston College, did you check the box score for that game?
Let's do it right now.
Yeah, I think you'll see what I'm talking about.
If you guys don't know this is Open Up. Great student. Let's see. What does he spy? I have not looked at the box score. Okay. 41 total points in the game, just for the record. Just like how the Jesuit suppression lasted 41 years. USA equals 41. This nation was established in that time. 41 is the 13th prime, going with those 13 stripes. I see the Florida State quarterback went 21 for 42. Big Jesuit numbers. I see it. I see it. The Boston College QB. 16 attempts, 106 yards passing. I mean, they couldn't have scripted it any better. If you guys got here late and are like, why does that matter? I know you missed the beginning of the stream, the part that mattered. The reason we had Boston College to beat Florida State before it happened. Again, this game was scheduled 106 days. Boston College is a Jesuit university. 106 days before the first Jesuit Pope's birthday. Those numbers go big with Boston College Golden Eagles, and they also go with Columbus when Johnny Gaudreau just died, who played his college hockey at Boston College. So, yeah, good one.
Yeah, and that information is credit to someone in the chat. I can't remember. I think his name was Team Kevin or something like that. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Also, I sent the email of the home run video yesterday. Were you able to see that with the audio?
Oh, snap. Here, let me see if I can pull that up real quick. I had to fly out of the house right after the stream, and I never got back and looked at it. Did you send it to Gematria Effect Sports, or which email did you send it to?
GematriaEffectNews.
Gematria Effect News. Here, let me find it. Let me find it here. Here we go. Here we go. It's with my computer. Hold up. All right, I'm downloading the file real quick.
Yeah, and this is just shows like you always talk about this. You can
And his birthday.
All right.
To watch live.
Yeah. All right. Hold up. I got to make sure. All right. So I just downloaded the video, but I don't have, I'm not sure. Let me see if I can get it so that I can show you guys the video too. I can definitely get the audio on for you, but it'll be better if I can get the video up here as well. Here, I got to switch this around to see if it's going to work. Oh yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Let me get the audio just right. Here we go. Here we go. Let me make sure it's super loud so everybody hears this. All right. So yesterday we spotted this before it happened. Shout out to our man with the guy who showed the community how to nail the home run prop bets. It's gotten contagious, but he said, "Oh, this dude," and he was right. I got all excited about when I said that looks primed, and then next thing you know, boom, it's happening, and then next thing you know, they're mocking you on the screen. All right, here we go. I got the volume cranked up. All right, check this out, you guys. So it was the 29th birthday of this Milwaukee batter. Plus, he had like 5 other things that were lined up as well. But listen to what the announcer says right here. And our man on the phone right here is who caught this and sent this to me. Listen. Oh, what? Oh, hold up. All right, here we go. Take 2.
And his birthday today. Are you into numerology? Looking for home run number 29 on his 29th birthday? Is that a birthday bomb? Is that what that is? Yeah. I'm in for that.
You didn't show the clip. So he hits the home run on this at bat. He ends up smacking the home run out of there to get his 29th of his career. And he wears jersey number 20. Here, let me show you why this is so perfect. Them talking about numerology on this date. Let me switch this around real quick. I got to... That was Willie Adames who ended up hitting the home run on that at bat, his first at bat of the game. You can check the box score. But check this out. So they're talking about numerology, right? I told you. This was yesterday as well, the same day Boston College upset. Numerology equals 55. The date numerology was 55. So they're talking about numerology on a 55 date. And, again, just like we said, Boston, Massachusetts, in that same cipher is 55. They get the big upset, Boston College, on the 55 date. And, I mean, we've seen this stuff for years. We've been documenting this stuff for years. And that's the beauty of putting the knowledge out there is you have more people with eyes to see, collecting the data and evidence, doing their own blog posts, their own podcasts. And again, the rest of the world that hasn't caught up in the information age, it's kind of honestly, man, it's not good to shame people, but really, any sports fan who's not aware of this at this point should in a way be ashamed of themselves. So, yeah, great catch, 407.
Yeah, no problem. The person who sent me the clip, I guess they cut off the actual home run for whatever reason, but anyone could check the box score. It did happen right on that at bat. But yeah, I've been here, I think, almost 3 years now, and been nothing but good, useful information, like the other commenters have said, that has changed my perspective on a lot of things. And like always, I appreciate your work.
And here, right here, you guys. Here's that clip we just watched was for Willie Adames yesterday. He wears number 27, always a big number on a Monday. Knows how it's 27 forwards and backwards Monday. But there's the caption for that game, that he extended his home run streak to 5 games with a 3-run blast. Remember, 5 is the third prime number. But yeah, they were doing that right at the beginning of the game. And here, you can just go to the game summary. You can see right there in the first inning. So in that same at bat, he ended up hitting the 3-run home run. Yeah. All right, 407. Keep up the great work, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Take
All
care.
right. Yeah, take care. And again, he's a great student of the work. You know, he's modeled exactly what I've taught. He doesn't waste his money. He makes nice, efficient bets and multiplies. Again, I've always taught people, try to turn a $5 bill into at least 50 each day off the knowledge. If you get consistent with the work, you can do that. At the very least, you should be able to do it at least one time a week. And think about it. If you made 5 bets during the week for $5, which is a manageable amount of money that you should be able to afford to lose. Just don't go waste your money at Starbucks. You got $5 right there, house money. Instead of wasting it on $5 on junk food, figure out how to structure a parlay that day that pays at least 50 out of 5. If you can hit 1 out of 7, you're going to make a profit. Because again, if you make 5 bets or 7 bets over the course of the week, that's $35 in bets. If you hit on 1, you get the 5 back. So let's just say you went 1 out of 7 for your average every week. You'd lose 30, but you'd be winning 50 plus. And that's a profit every week. And that's a good profit if you really think about it. That's actually a huge percentage multiplier. You know, you're nearly doubling your money supply each week. And once you get good at that, you can maybe afford to wager a little bit more than $5. But first, build your house money. And again, I don't think it is evil. I think it's smart. That's what I think it is. We live in a rigged system. Why not flip it back on them? You know? And what about the phrase, don't hate the player, hate the game? I think that's a real phrase too. You know, I got all these like trolls and haters out there. Something I find laughable is there's a guy out there telling you guys that you should take the license plate off your car and drive down the highway without a license plate and then argue with the cops and end up in court and in jail and keep doing that fight. And then this guy, that's his whole thing. That's what he tells everybody to do, take their license plate off their car and drive and just keep getting arrested and going to jail and fighting it. I agree that we shouldn't have to have license plates and pay all this money to the state. I'm not in disagreement with that, but at the same time, it's like, you think you're going to win? You think you're going to overcome the state with this strategy? You're just going to add to the military, prison, jail, industrial complex. That's all you're going to do. That's all you're going to do. You're going to help raise more funds for the state so they can put even more cops out on the highway and pull even more people over and mess up their life. You know? That's what we do in this state. We pay taxes to have greater and greater surveillance and police over us, which just results in more taxation and fees and revenue for the police surveillance state. But no, this guy, he's always taking shots at my sports work. And see, so many of my haters, they say, oh, all you do is decode sports. Well, that's disingenuous in itself. Sports is probably 10% of what I do, if even that. But, hey, you guys can go take your license plate off your car and drive down the highway and end up in jail today. Sounds like a good plan. Or you can do what I'm saying. Stop wasting your money on junk food. Stop wasting your money on trash you don't need. And I'm not saying necessarily gamble, but if you save all this money that you're spending on junk food and fast food and crap and learn how to use that money to make more money, I think you'll be a lot further ahead. Again, I think you'll be like my man here, Louisiana Hot Hand, taking control back over your life. Not having to go spend your time on the slave grind, you know? And again, he was way too complimentary, and a lot of this is not true about me, and he didn't give himself enough credit, but again, he took the knowledge and he changed his life, just like a lot of people have. So I see Victor out in the chat. Victor did the same thing. Victor's another person who took the knowledge and changed his life. So here, this is Victor right here. So Victor's another one out there. Victor brought his whole family out for 9/11 2 years ago. And see, that's the consequences of doing the right thing. I went coast to coast bringing people together, and as soon as that trip happened, my financial support got cut off. And I know it wasn't the actual community. I know it was big tech that controls the levers to these things. They're like, oh yeah? You want to do that? Bam! we're going to just smack you down so you can't do it again. And look, I mean, I can't. It's hard to build anything up when nobody gets a notification who subscribed to you. I mean, they've destroyed the channel. They've destroyed the channels. They've destroyed. Again, you guys can look at the analytics on my channel. There's like no new people that come. Nobody gets a notification. This is total destruction. But then Fresh and Fit can come on and got 1 million people in their stream as they demean women. They're like, they got some girl on, they're like, I didn't want to, I mean, it's sick, man. And then YouTube says, oh, sorry, we had to take your channel down because we didn't think it was safe content. It's like, I think my content saves people's lives. We had it all dead on about the scandemic. We had it all dead on. We gave everybody the proper warning and instruction, and it was life-saving. For everybody who didn't listen, you know, myocarditis is a bitch. So, blood clots are a bitch. Anyway, got to get back on the grind. Live stream today on the Patreon. Starts at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 Eastern. Again, we're going back to 7 days a week streaming. There's 3 tiers for sports content. To get on the Patreon, the link's in the description of every video. 3 tiers. $5 tier. Gets you all written content every day, 24/7, 365. I don't miss a day. That's my MO. That's how I've been. I don't miss a day. I don't care what the holiday is, my birthday. The work gets out there 24/7, 365 consistently. So $5 tier is written content. $11 tier gets you all the written content plus live streams Monday through Saturday. This year we're switching it up. $20 tier gets you 7 days a week live streaming and an entry ticket every week for the contest to win $100. Now, we don't have a lot of people on the $20 tier right now. If there's a flood of people that come in on that $20 tier, there's going to be more prize money than $100. There's going to be consolation prizes, and I'm going to have to set up more games so that more people can, you know. Right now, there's a weekly contest. You get 5 picks, and it's who can amass the most points with their picks. And the way you get points is what the lines are. If a pick, like Boston College last night was plus 600. That would have scored you 600 points had you taken Boston College. You know, had you taken a team that was even money, that would have been 100 points. Had you taken a home run prop like Willie Adames, that was plus 600. So, again, you get 5 picks. Who scores the most points wins the contest. What I'm planning to do if we get more people on the tier is we'll have, one where it's all things combined. Football season, people love football season, so we'll probably have to create a few games for football. Just straight game picks. Who can do the best with 5 picks for the week on just games? We can do one where it's mix games and player props. And you can make big money off player props. You know, all my trolls out there, they always love to hate on Super Bowl 56, but really I was dead on. I said it was going to be a 3-point game, so take Bengals with the points. Exactly what happened. They were a 3.5-point dog. And we loved Odell Beckham to score the first touchdown. Number 3, when he was traded from Cleveland to the Rams, when the Rams started in Cleveland on his birthday, the day leaving 56 days left in the year before Super Bowl 56. You know, that paid nearly 10-1. And then, you know, after we nail those things, you got trolls making videos. Oh, Zachary K. Hubbard wrong about Super Bowl. It's like, I don't think we were wrong. And not only were we right, but we also proved how rigged the game was. Joe Burrow played all 4 of the teams that Billy Cannon played for in the NFL. Go back and look. Joe Burrow in that playoffs theory went to the rigged Super Bowl for the Bengals where they lost to the Rams. He played the Titans, who used to be the Oilers. He played the Raiders. He played the Chiefs. And he played the Rams. Those are the 4 teams that Billy Cannon played for. And of course, in 2020, I was out in Louisiana. We went down to Louisiana. And we educated about all of the ritual sacrifices for Joe Burrow's rigged championship, including Billy Cannon on Cannonball Day. And Cannonball Day is a Jesuit thing. It's the day Ignatius of Loyola was shot by a cannonball. By the way, this year the Super Bowl in New Orleans is going to be 54 days after the Pope's birthday. New Orleans equals 54. Jesuit order equals 54. Joe Burrow took the Bengals to the Super Bowl in their 54 season when he beat Clemson in the championship. January 13th, 2020. It was a date with 54 numerology. Anytime 54 comes up with Joe Burrow, he wins his games. We've been killing on that since he got in the league. He has all the parallels to Joe Montana, whose name equals 54. Montana, who played for the Niners and the Chiefs, and who beat the Bengals in 2 Super Bowls. And remember, Joe Burrow was drafted right after Super Bowl 54. And Super Bowl 58 last year was the 54th Super Bowl in the modern era. And we nailed another nice future. Chiefs, first team to win back-to-back in 19 years. The game even went to overtime, 19-19. McCole Hardman caught the game winner for his 19th career touchdown, just like Montana. Again, he wore 19 with the Chiefs. And when the Chiefs beat the Niners the first time, it was the 2019 season. So, and Joe Montana, another Catholic product, Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Isn't it interesting? All right. Yeah, I do appreciate people hit the like. You guys want to join the Patreon? Again, the link is in the description. And if you don't want to join the Patreon, what do you spend $20 a month on that ain't doing shit for your life? I'll ask you that question too. I bet all kinds of shit. I bet you go and buy a $20 junk meal at McDonald's that makes you sick and ill and brings you one day closer to your death, if not 1 year closer to your death. You know? Does that do anything for your life? How much you spend on your overpriced cable bill watching the rigged games? Does that do anything for your life? Making you a little bit fatter, a little bit dumber, wasting a little bit more of your time day by day? Instead of wasting your time watching the games, learn how they're rigged, and then come back and check the box scores and collect your money. All right, Truth Seeker, we'll leave it there. And until next time.